Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about Dev Diary Champions of the Contest. That's right, part 3 of the roadmap is out. This time it talks all about changes in how the champions are made and what's the idea behind them. And as previous two roadmaps, there is a whole heap of text. There's a whole essay here, as we can see, and unfortunately once again it doesn't say all that much. Like, the details in there are pretty buried. So this time I'm going to do this review differently. Basically, I read it 3 times at the least, and I decided that I will not use this forum because there's just so much text that even I get confused as I try to make my video. So what I have done is I have kind of like written down the main plan points, main talking points that we are going to be discussing, and we're just gonna forget about that forum because there's so much unnecessary fluff in it that my head starts hurting every time I read it. But yeah, so let's go. First and foremost, they are talking about buff severity and kind of like 4 groups of champions, and out of those 4 groups we will have 3 different buff severities that we will be seeing in the future. Now basically the 4 categories that they place champions in is balanced or better, as in like all the god tier or at least the usable champions. And then there are champions who are in need of a tune-up, and tune-up is basically just kind of like messing with their stats, not doing anything too major. It's kind of like what they did with Sentry, where they just increased the chance Sentry had to proc his abilities, maybe some damage numbers, so on and so forth. So basically not really changing any abilities, just giving better numbers to the champions. And I agree to them. There are many champions in the contest that would be quite good or great if their numbers would look a lot better. And then we have champions who need an update. That would be kind of like what they did, let's say, with Carnage and Red Hulk when those buffs went live, where they largely remain the same kit. The whole base idea behind the champions remain the same, but they just get kind of like a significant increase in their numbers, plus some couple additional extra abilities that just make the whole base point of already an existing champion kit work better. A great example here, I don't know, would be giving like an extra ability to who, I don't know. But okay, I'm not gonna give the examples. I'm not all that great today when it comes to health, but either way. So yeah, that is the second group. And the third group is the huge complete overhauls, basically what they did with Colossus, what they did with Hulkbuster, and what they are doing with Magneto, which is where we're gonna get to just in a moment, because they have kind of announced a next 3-month timeline. Basically, Magneto buffs are gonna go live in September. Both of the Magnetos are getting completely overhauled, so we're gonna get 2 completely brand new, hopefully awesome and amazing champions in form of Magneto. Then the next champion who will get buff is going to be Punisher2099, and he is only receiving tune-up, which I completely agree that is a champion that has a lot of potential. His abilities are actually really cool. Those automatically applying power locks when opponent would reach level 3, and those automatically applying heal blocks are very, very great abilities. And overall, I like Punisher as a champion, especially when you can get to spam his heavy attack and you can prevent opponent from getting power. There's a lot of good stuff with Punisher, but obviously that all of the good he potentially could have is rendered absolutely useless by a completely garbage damage output, which is a large reason why nobody has given that champion time of the day, even though he could actually be quite good, which I have mentioned in several videos in past. So yeah, Punisher will get a much smaller kind of like scale update in September, October, and then we have November buffs, which will be these updates, which will be the stuff that Carnage and Red Hulk went through for Gambit and Falcon. Now these 2 champions, in my opinion, are likely bigger candidates for overhaul, but hey, update for them could be cool as well, because Gambit obviously has pretty much the initial, he pioneered the whole prowess mechanic, but his prowess is so ridiculously underpowered compared to modern champions like Storm and Sunspot. And obviously Falcon, well, Falcon just doesn't have much going on for him now, does he? But hey, so these are the champions that are getting buffed with this set timeline, and also they do a champion tease, and that is going to be Professor X. Now, since they said that there is a reason why they are pushing both of Magneto's completely overhauled for September release. That also leads me to believe that September is going to be the month where we see Professor X added to the contest, which is quite cool. The look of Professor X, based on the tease that they actually had in the game in the Uncollected quest, will come from House of M storyline, I believe, where they were after these plants, and I believe House of M storyline is largely known as one of the best X-Men storylines, and so he will don that kind of like very specific look of that big round helmet, and he will be able to walk in this game. So we will not be fighting with a dude in a wheelchair or a dude in a flying chair, even though nothing would be out of question at this point because we have Mojo and we have MODOK. But yeah, no, Professor X seemingly will be able to actually walk and probably, by extension, throw a punch. Right, so that is the third bigger kind of like thing. Fourth is the champions that are getting added. They have said that Wolverine will have bigger release in July, not just this limited iOS exclusive offer. So there will likely be Arena, or there are gonna be Colonial Crystals for everybody available, or Grandmaster Crystals for everybody available, or something. They have said that they will basically do kind of like a wider release for Wolverine. So if you are a massive Wolverine fan, then go for it. I personally, from purely Marvel Concept Champions point of view, couldn't really care less at this point because I think he's severely outdated and extremely limited in what he can do. But don't slate me in comment section. It's just, in my opinion, a fact. His damage is quite garbage, his heal is decent, but there are so many better champions. I would obviously like to get him for collection purposes, but even if I got him, I wouldn't like rank him past rank 3 likely. Either way. And then they also say that Scarlet Witch is gonna get added. They say summer. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we are in July already. When I was growing up, 3 months of summer pretty much always counted as June, July, August. So since they say summer timeline for Scarlet Witch, I will guess that it's going to be August, because July is when we are getting Wolverine. Possibly October, but to me that's autumn already. So I don't know, likely it is going to be August when we are seeing Scarlet Witch. Now they do mention that they have plans to add rest of the champions as well, but they do not have a specific timeline for those. Additionally, there were some discussions on Gambit forums where I browsed up, and they said that eventually their goal is to also make sure that these champions make it to a basic 5-star hero pool. But again, there is no like set timeline when will that happen, but just kind of like acknowledgement that that is within their plans, and it's not out of the question that you will be able one day to pull 5-star Scarlet Witch out of a basic 5-star hero crystal. But meanwhile, I have a good feeling that these will be milked quite hard. Anyways, point number 5, and point number 5 would be new crystals. And we don't have too much details outside of the one specific crystal that is going to get introduced, I think in July or August. I forgot the timeline, but it was relatively soon because they have all specific and details for it. And it's going to be dual class 5-star crystal, and they're going to basically alternate on random days, kind of similarly like class catalyst alternate or mastery cores in the store. We will see these crystals available kind of like one day is going to be skill and mutants, let's say. The second day it's going to be, I don't know, science and mystic. Third day it's going to be tech and cosmic, and then they're going to go back to skill and mutants. So basically they're going to be changing every day from one set of classes to another one. The cost of them will be 10,000 shards. This will only be available for 5-star champions. There were actually no real mention at all whatsoever for 6-star crystals and their improvements. Pretty much all of the stuff that's being talked about in this update refers to 5-star champions at large. Now they did mention something else when it comes to the crystals that is in works, but they have absolutely no deadlines because they do actually need to kind of like invent the technology to make this available. But the thing that they mentioned would be kind of like create your own Colonial Crystal, where you select 5 champions from each class, so 30 champions in a crystal, and then you go for that crystal where you have only these selected 30 champions. Now, it wasn't too specific when they say you, whether that means you individually or community as a whole. I hope not. I hope it literally means you just go see what you need for your account, select 5 champions of each class, and that is a crystal you can get. And additional thing that they mentioned, which I kind of suspected that they will, was that a featured 5-star hero crystal and a likely also featured 6-star hero crystal. Rest of the pulls are gonna get improved. Basic idea that there will be less duds, which is something that we have certainly seen a very drastic increase in quality of the current featured 5-star hero crystal, where there are only kind of like 2 or 3 champions which would ultimately be considered complete duds, and then there are another 3 or 4 champions that are kind of like but vast majority of the champions in current featured 5-star hero crystal are in fact kind of like usable and current and needed and sought after, and hopefully that trend kind of stays the same when featured 5-star hero crystals and 6-star hero crystals actually do not have that many bad champions in them and they do not seem as big of a gamble. So yeah, that is also a positive that I talk about. And final point is signature stones. Now, they do not talk about 6-star signature stones at all whatsoever. Pretty much they just mentioned that they will use the results and findings and feedback from their process of the 5-star signature stone implementation into the 6-star signature stones at some point in future. So there are no concrete specifics in actual increase in availability of 6-star signature stones, which sucks, which is something that is unfortunate. But when it comes to 5-star signature stones, the situation will improve quite drastically, and base idea is that they will be included in 22-hour solo events. The solo events themselves might change as well, I believe, but even if they remain the same anyways, they will be included probably as a final milestone in the 22-hour solo events. If you are uncollected, you will be able to get 1 class 5-star signature stone per 22-hour event, as in like 1 5-star signature stone crystal. But if you are Cavalier, you will be able to acquire 1 generic 5-star signature stone and 1 class 5-star signature stone. So that would effectively mean that you would be able to get 2 signature stones per day, and there are 30 days in a month on average. Assuming that you hit pretty much all of them, that would let you net like 30 generic and 30 class signature stones per month, in addition to all the other signature stones that we can get in like daily events or side monthly events or something like that. And to me that does sound quite good, like 60 5-star signature stones per month on top of everything else we used to get and we still will get, and hopefully we will get more in future and more events. Does sound kind of like quite a good step up, definitely, and a step in the right direction. Obviously keep in mind that these 60 signature stones would not be the only ones that you're getting. You get like, I don't know, 10, 15 in uncollected, you get a few in master, you get some in side events quite frequently. So yeah, signature stone situation for 5-star signature stone specifically will definitely be improved quite greatly thanks to all of this. And that pretty much is it, what that roadmap said. So I think this has been quite a brief summary. If you are somebody in a hurry, this is about as much as you want to watch the video. Now for my personal kind of like feelings about it all, this roadmap has a lot of positive. Obviously they do mention the nerf ward and how they say that they do not want to nerf any champions in future, but they will do it. But then again, they are saying that they will try not to. But anytime that N ward nerf gets brought up, you get kind of very cautious, because this isn't an average game where these characters are free. For instance, the champions where get balanced down and nerfed typically in majority of the games are the items that you unlock but you don't buy as much as, and champions and Malcons of champions can cost a large amount of money. Therefore it's always a very, very sensitive subject when any negative change can happen to any champion. When it comes to the buffs themselves, I'm super excited for Magnetos. I do have a 6-star Magneto for sure. I have all of these champions as 5 stars 100%. I think I have a 6-star Gambit. I'm quite sure I do have a 6-star Gambit. Don't have 6-star Falcons or Punishers, but still that's kind of like a significant thing to look forward to, because as I mentioned before, these champion buffs pretty much has no downside realistically. It's just everybody has these bad champions nobody's using, and whenever all champion gets buffed, you kind of all of a sudden typically get like a new god tier champion or new exciting champion, and you don't have to go grind or wail out to get it. You already have it and it's there, so therefore everybody's pretty much excited and waiting for them. So yeah, when it comes to the future of the champions, it does sound kind of cool. Again, the post had a lot of fluff which you kind of just had to shut out, but yeah, I am happy with the bits of information that we did found out from this roadmap. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know which buffs are you looking forward the most. Falcon, Gambit, Punisher, Magnetos. Maybe you're super excited for Professor X, Scarlet Witch getting added. Let me know what you think of the dual class crystal for 5 stars. I'm somewhat indifferent to them because I'm not really going for basic crystals anyways. I typically kind of hunt featured 5 stars because I have vast majority of the 5 stars in my basic. But for my mini account, if I'm going to still carry on playing the mini account, I definitely will find this useful because my 5-star count is like very, very small. And for instance, I have specific class rank up gems, like where I have tech rank ups 3 to 4 gem, so I would immediately kind of try and pull a tech champion, or I have 2 mystic awakening gems, and going for these would give me much better chance of kind of pulling a decent mystic champion to use my awakening gems on. So I definitely think it's going to be very good addition overall for many progressing players, especially because there's no increase in cost. 5-star signature stones are more available, are also going to be quite cool. But yeah, that is going to be pretty much it. I kind of tried to keep it as short as I could, and this video is over. That means it's time for Baby Yoda, and as you are getting mesmerized by the beauty of this little green, force-sensitive, adorable creature, why don't you hit that like button? Why don't you hit that subscribe button? Why don't you hit all of the good buttons? Stay away from the bad ones. Go down to comment section, drop a comment, let me know what you think about this roadmap, and yeah, share the video with your alliance mates. Ask them what they think, encourage them over to drop a comment as well, perhaps engage in discussion. But that is it for now, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.